morning. This is the video newsletter for buysellshort.com for Monday, January 18th. Hopefully, everyone's enjoying Monday off from the market. But let's jump into the stock charts right now. We had a pretty decent sized sell off there on Friday. Just judging by the way the market was acting and traders chatting in chat rooms, you'd think it was the end of the world. Was options expiration Friday, which is a heavily manipulated day anyway. It was right before long 3-day weekend because the market was obviously closed today. And the market, we had some crazy action throughout the week on stocks, so some profit taking was to be expected. Reason I actually sent out that little video late in the day, just to nothing to be overly concerned with. The action we saw on Friday. We're looking at the Dow 15-minute chart right here. You can see we're still within that bearish rising wedge support right now at the 20-day exponential on the daily chart. If we flip over to the daily chart, you can see on Friday we halted right at the 20-day exponential. That is at 10,560, and that also marks the uptrend line from the mid-December rally that we've seen. You'll note here as well, we touched the 20-day exponential on Friday and the uptrend line, and almost every time that this has happened in the last several months, we've seen a pop the next trading day in the market. You can see it happen there at the end of the year, and then we had that big opening rally. We also saw it here. So, most times if we don't bounce the day after a big sell-off to the 20-day exponential, we bounce afterwards. But, barring any news, we should see a nice pop on the market tomorrow. We also have earnings kicking off this week in a big way. Another excuse they used for the sell-off there on Friday was J.P. Morgan's earnings report. Intel posted a fantastic earnings report, in my opinion, that is very, very good going forward for us. The banks are still in the crap storm right now, and the data coming out really should not be a surprise. Again, in my opinion, it was just an excuse ahead of a long weekend on an options expiration day, nothing more. Checking out the dollar, we also had a bounce on the dollar on Friday, which did not help matters. Dollar is pretty oversold here, so we could see a continued pop in the dollar this week, which might pressure commodities a little, but that's not such a bad thing either. But let's jump into some stock plays. ANX, big retrace over the last 3 days. The financial terrorist Adam Feuerstein. I won't go into what I think of this douchebag, but needless to say, ANX, heavy volume. Shorters have come into the stock, and lo and behold, this clown comes out bashing the stock. Never fails. Eventually, they'll uncover what he does, but we'll leave that for another video sometime. Retraced all the way back to the 20-day exponential and the uptrend line. We should see a bounce back on this one tomorrow. RSI is to the 50 level. Stochastic still holding up above 50. And every time this financial terrorist hits a stock, there is usually a pretty nice size bounce a day or so afterwards. So we'll be looking for that to happen tomorrow in this play. ASTM, as I mentioned, I hate this friggin' stock. They came out, did a financing for some reason, big discount to the price, big drop on it. Would look to exit this one on a pop above 30, and this time we are totally deleting it from all our lists. This was on the banned list. We still went back into it, and this is what happens when you break your trading rules. There is a reason this stock is on the banned list. It's a piece of crap and trades like crap, but irregardless, pretty strong support. The next time the stem cells pop, it'll probably pop back to 30, and we'll use that to exit our positions. NEXM, it's our other little biotech play. Next couple of weeks should be pretty big for it. FDA approval expected in February. Nice little flag formation on this one again. Stops or supports should hold pretty nicely here at the 50-cent level. And again, a lot of stocks just got beat on Friday as traders were booking gains. You had a lot of biotechs come out and sell shares, and that sort of spooked traders with the sell-off that we saw on Friday. We had a nice little long weekend, and traders will be coming back into the market tomorrow looking to make some money. One of our very nice plays, despite the market sell-off on Friday, was CXM. We jumped into this one again after our late December 50% win on it. We mentioned on Wednesday, Thursday that it was time to jump back into this play. Very, very strong on Friday. broke through its previous resistance at 74 cents. And the way the chart is set up here, like I said back in December, this is the kind of stock that can go on a monster move. They posted very good trial data back in October, but they sold shares at the same time. Financiers shorted the crap out of the stock, and then you had the tax sellers take advantage of that into late December. All that overhead is gone now, and the chart has very little resistance above it. 90 cents, and then the sky's the limit after that. Very nice uptrend in RSI. Stochastics, ADX look very, very good, and it could be a very nice week for CXM. KAD is our other favorite play, same sort of setup as CXM. Big sell off late into the year, is rebounding nicely. Breakout is a close above 60 cents, and we're looking for a move to 75 and 90 cents on this one. ADX very, very strong. Stochastics bouncing up here through the 50 level. We should see this one post a very nice pop tomorrow. And as you'll note, big volume on the up days, very low volume on the down days. And that is typically a bullish characteristic of a stock in a nice uptrend. ZHNE continued its breakout there on Friday, ended the day up. Earnings this week. Next target on this one moved to 75 cents and stops at 55 cents on this one. HYTM, we're still waiting on the deal with Blue Cross, but it continues to hold or trend higher on its 20-day exponential. That's at 49 cents right now. Possibly they're waiting for the State of the Union or to pump out that Blue Cross news. The higher we stair step here, the bigger the pop's going to be when that news comes out. And right now, when we're sitting at 50 cents, a move to $1 looks very, very doable here, especially with Stochastics holding support at the 50 level and ADX going nicely higher here in a slow uptrend. Quick mention on PDEX. This was a chat room play on Friday around the 50 cent area. Hit almost 90 cents on Friday. 80% gain in a few hours, not too bad. Again, if you're not in the chat room, stocks like these, we've been pumping a lot of these big movers out in the chat room. So by the time these move, it's too late to actually email them out. So that is a major region. If you're able to come into the chat room, I highly suggest coming into it. RPC, again, part of the reason we saw PDX move and some of these other plays, the medical equipment stocks were on big moves over the last couple of days. We again had a breakout attempt on RPC on Friday, but the market proved too much for it. Continues to hold support at the 20-day exponential. So you've got support now, 27, 28 cents here. Breakout is the 50-day moving average at 35 cents. Last but not least, we've got LJPC, another biotech play. Small play in this one. Chart that's itching to go on a big move. If the biotech momentum is still here this week, we should see a bounce back on this one. It's got very strong support at its 20-day exponential at 18 cents. So it might be worthwhile keeping a little piece of this one just in case it gets the kind of move that we saw in NEXM. Similar sort of play. They're merging with another biotech company like NEXM, and all it takes is volume, and these ones are off to the races and a nice piece of good news. Like I mentioned in the chat room, days like Friday, they might scare traders, but it's always good. That's the reason we always continue to say book partial gains on all pops. You always want to be booking some gains so that when you see a retrace, you've got some money in the bank, and the worst case scenario, you sell the rest flat and you still have a gain. And we're into rotation right now. There's so many stocks that are popping right now. If you've got some dead stocks in your portfolio, there's no point in sitting on them. Rotate, rotate, rotate. You can always rebuy a stock if it eventually breaks out, but there's no point in having your cash tied up in slow movers. Really quick mention on ELN. This was our option play that we jumped into at the start of the year. 100% gain on those April $8 calls. Stock looks possibly top tier, which was the reason we booked gains on it. If it pulls back to the 20-day exponential, I would probably consider rolling out of our April options and rolling into later in the year options, August, September, maybe even January 2011 calls. Elon's a great stock, but has a lot of big moves up and down on it. It usually pays to have out of the money calls on it. So that's it for the video. We've got a couple of very nice setups for tomorrow. CXM looks very, very nice. and KAD, I think, are going to give us some nice upside moves. So that's it for the video. See you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Goodbye.